Well, I'm here backstage with two of the nominees for Best Autobiography, Nicole Cook and Gareth Thomas, and also your co-author as well, Mike Calvin, here as well. Great to see you all. Gareth and Nicole, I mean, when did you decide it was the right time to write your story? Nicole, can you start?
Well, for me it came at a natural point where I'd retired from racing, my cycling career had come to an end, and there were things which I really wanted to go into. So I wanted to tell my story, and there were some really big themes throughout my whole cycling career that I really wanted to go into in my book. So I felt it was best just to get started on it pretty soon after retiring, and I'm really glad I did it because it gave me the chance to go back and look at races which I probably wouldn't have done otherwise, and that brought back a lot of great memories, but also it gave me the perspective of hindsight, where at the time I think I was very hard on myself. You know, if races didn't go well, so being able to see things many years later also helped me come to terms with what I thought were some of my most disappointing moments in my career.
Gareth, you've just discovered that Nicole wrote her own.
Oh, amazing. Absolutely brilliant. And she's Welsh as well.
There you go as well, double respect.
Yeah.
At what point, what was it your idea initially to write your story?
No. People had been on to me to write the book for a while, and kind of like Nicole said, really, I had to be ready. I didn't think I'd ever be ready because, you know, there's so many things within my life that I kind of wanted to keep as my own, but it was only when I really started to realise that people think they know me, they don't actually know me. And for me, the crux of it all was when I sat down with Mike, and you know, I never realised that I could trust somebody with your life, because that's ultimately what it is. And I cared so much about my life personally that was mine, that I had to have it written in my words. And I think if you entrust somebody else, and that's a big thing to give to somebody. So, you know, after having meetings with Mike and hearing Mike talk and understanding the way Mike wanted to do things, then I realised that actually, do you know what, he does want to do this because he wants people to know my story, not my story through Mike's words, my story through my words.
Mike, there's a tremendous responsibility that you were given.
Absolutely, responsibility and a privilege. And we did really look at this very hard, and I know this sounds really trite, but when we were going through the process, we were trying to put ourselves into the position of the reader. How will this influence people? And we actually did say to ourselves, if we do this properly, we could actually save people's lives, because there are people on the ragged edge, as Gareth was occasionally, who would actually gain strength from not just the story itself, but the honesty with which it's told. It's quite brutal at times, and you know, we talk about rugby players having physical resilience. Well, I think what Gareth has shown in doing this book and committing himself to it 100% is showing fantastic moral courage. And I think that's something I would hope which is implanted on every page of the book.
Were you very conscious, Gareth, in the process that your story could help others or have a huge impact?
Oh yeah, you know, I've been conscious in a way since the day I became honest about myself, that it was helping people, but it was only after a while that I realised it kind of transcended sport in certain ways. It helped people in all other walks of life, and I realised I had a responsibility. I realised I had a role because I'd been successful in sport, as Nicole can understand. I'm sure when you become successful in sport, you become an ambassador, and you don't just become an ambassador for people within your sport. You become an ambassador for people potentially wanting to start that sport, or people potentially wanting to overcome certain barriers. So I quickly realised, and I quickly became very proud and took very serious the role I had in providing that kind of help, guidance, support, strength to other people.
Nicole, was that something you were conscious of as well, using your book to try and inspire a younger generation?
Definitely. When I went into cycling, to be honest, I had no ideas of the barriers I was going to come across. I was a kid with a dream of being Olympic champion, and yet the boys had British championships for under 16s, under 18s. There weren't any championships for the girls, and I had to campaign for those championships. So describing those events that I went through, I hope gives a lot of inspiration and a lot of courage to any reader, whether it's a female reader or from any, again, for guys as well, to really tackle those challenges and not let those things get in your way of what you really want to achieve. So I also hope it's an inspirational book, but obviously in a slightly different way.
It's a tough category, best autobiography. Have you been enjoying yourselves out there, more to the point, this evening? So
Yeah,
far?
and you know what? It don't matter, because if one of us win, we're like, 'cause we're both Welsh. It doesn't really matter.
It's a win for Wales.
Exactly, and that's all that matters. So it don't matter.
Brilliant. So Nicole and Gareth and Mike, thanks for popping by the green room to have a chat.
Thank you.